Hi everyone, my name is Chantal and welcome back to my channel. Jazza's incredible inky box. I thought I would have more fun with this box, but I didn't have as much fun as I thought I would. Let's get into the video. So, let's get a few things out of the way first. Yes, I did purchase this box. Opinions are my own, and no, I don't hate Jazza. I think he did a fantastic job in putting these boxes together with the wonderful team at SmartArt. I just personally think that some of the items could have been curated a little better, so they would go together a little bit more. I actually thought of not putting this video out at all, but I want to be honest and open with you, my audience. And don't worry, it's not gonna be super negative. So let's get into it. What you see on the screen right now are the items that came in the INKY box. Jazza's Deluxe Writing Collection, Pearlex Powders, paint brushes, Aqua Inks, Calligraphy Markers, alcohol inks, and for the surfaces we have Bright paper, a graph notebook, and a Hahnemühle sketchbook. I've laid out all the surfaces next to each other to try out all the supplies from the box. I'm starting off with the calligraphy markers. Whilst these markers are okay, I've tried better calligraphy markers before. I found that the tips are not of the best make and they feel very scratchy to write with. These markers have an interesting feature when you use water with them, but we will get to that a little bit later. I did try to apply water to these markers in the Hahnemühle sketchbook, however all the surfaces that come in this box are simply not made to be used with water. The Hahnemühle sketchbook held up fine with the ink from the markers and did not bleed through. The Fabriano graph book was one that I was least impressed by. This graph book is good for practicing, but graph books are easily to come by at any stationery store and wasn't something unique. I would have loved to have seen some watercolor paper in this box because the calligraphy markers react beautifully with water and the aqua inks are, well, you guessed it, water-based inks. Or perhaps even some practice sheets with tracing paper so you can practice your strokes to become better at calligraphy and get that muscle memory going. I will link down below where you can find such sheets for you to download and practice with. I did try the markers on the Bright paper as well, but because this is a slick surface, the inks stay wet and the water-based supplies will not stick to it. Then there is another thing I would have loved to have seen in the box, and that is a water dropper, just to get the inks out of the bottles. Then this is where I started to be less impressed with the box overall. The surfaces are just not meant for these inks. They were perhaps okay to do with the calligraphy pen, however I did not even try that one. I'm very picky when it comes to calligraphy pens and the ones in the box I was not impressed by. There were 2 nibs out of the whole set that looked okay, however the rest is not top-notch quality, so I did not even attempt that in this video. I was going to do a how-to and start with calligraphy video, but honestly I wasn't feeling it with these supplies. The inks are alright, but bleeding through if you put just a second layer on top of the first layer, and because this paper is not watercolor paper or even mixed media paper, the inks just soak into the page and you are unable to blend or manipulate them. When the page gets too wet, it buckles as well. Of course I had to try the inks on the graph paper and on the Bright paper as well. The graph paper held up a little bit better with the inks, however there's still the buckling of the paper. The Bright paper is again not meant for water-based media and you can just wipe it off the paper. Then there were the Pearlex powders. I have tried these powders before as I have used them for polymer clay projects. I did like that there were so many colors and the gum arabic really helps it stick to the surface. If you're expecting everything you need is in this box, that's not the case. There were no extra mixing cups to mix the powders with the gum arabic, as mentioned in the instructions. Also no mixing sticks or popsicle sticks to mix the materials with. And again, a water dropper would have been handy here. If you are using the powders with a calligraphy pen, you will need to mix up a lot more than what I did in the video, so you can actually dip the pen in the mixture. I use the brushes to apply the mixture, and I have to say that these brushes are really nice. I would have loved to see an even smaller size for more detailed hand lettering. And again, the Pearlex powders mixed with water doesn't work on the Duro-Bright paper. It will however work mixed with alcohol inks. Speaking of which, let's get into these alcohol inks. If you get these inks, make sure you have a push pin like the one I'm using in the video. Have a piece of cloth or paper towel ready to wrap it around the opening when you pull the pin back out, as some of the ink will come out with it. Then you just put the alcohol inks on the Duro-Bright paper and let it do its thing. The only thing I can think of for what to make with these inks are backgrounds. Jazza showed that the rainbow one, the one with the glitter, can be used to give miniatures glitter accents. However, please keep in mind that these inks are very transparent and by no means are they meant to paint miniatures. Now the first background I created was just a test to see how these inks behave. I then made another 2 backgrounds and decided to write on them with Deco color metallic pens. I will leave a link for these pens in the description box below. As much as I like the colors of the alcohol inks that were in the INKY box, I am just not a big fan of this type of art. Same goes for acrylic pouring, although it's very pretty to watch, marbling or resin pouring. Probably because I don't like the mess of the wet media and the permanent nature of them, and the smell that comes with these types of art. Then I tried the Aqua Inks on some watercolor paper. I did like the effect of these, however my heart is still with traditional watercolors. These Aqua Inks were very vibrant and blend really well together and can definitely be used to create a traditional piece of watercolor art. This is why I would have liked to have seen some watercolor paper in this box over the graph paper. For the quote, I used the Pearlex powder mixture I created earlier and applied it with a smaller paintbrush that was not in the INKY box. If you are interested in any of the pieces I've created in this video, they are up for sale in my Etsy shop. Now let's create some final pieces so you can see how these elegant writer markers work when you apply water to them. Again, I'm using watercolor paper and I'm drawing out some flowers with the elegant markers. Then just to the inside of the flower petals, I'm applying water with one of the brushes, just touching the lines. The ink from the markers will activate and flow as blue ink. When you lift the ink with a paper towel, it will leave a purple or pink kind of color, which is absolutely beautiful. And I'll definitely be using these markers for more watercolor type paintings. For the potion bottle, I also used the blue Aqua ink to color the glass of the bottle, the red and blue to make the potion more purple, and the Pearlex powders for shimmery accents and the glow around the bottle. I think you now might understand why I was a bit underwhelmed by this box. The individual items are fine, however everything combined I think could have been thought out a little bit more. I will leave all kinds of links in the description box down below for you to check out if you're interested in finding out more about calligraphy. So, here's what I'll be doing. I'll be doing a giveaway. You will get the Hahnemühle Cappuccino book, which has my first page of scribble in it, and the bloom page, the 2 brushes, 3 of the Pearlex powders plus a gum arabic. So the colors I'm sending will be solar gold, silver and rose gold. The rest I will be keeping for my polymer clay creations. And what you'll also get is this one, as is. And I will be sending that in the INKY box. So the only thing you'll have to do is fill in the Google form in the description box below and leave a comment. Plus, of course, subscribe to my channel and be over 18 years old and be able to share your email address in the Google form and your address, of course. I will be sending this one as well, by the way. So The creations I did with the Jazzy box will all be for sale in my Etsy shop, so you can find the link in the description. And that's it for my video. I hope you enjoyed my review of this INKY box. There's 2 more boxes to go that I will probably combine because it's got polymer clay and miniatures, and that's easy to combine into one diorama, and I already have a plan for that. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.